I check. I beat her that quick. Oh, I check one two. I check one two. I check one two. I check one two. Yes. Hmm. Hello? Yeah, I went to sleep somewhat early, and then I had acid come up in the fucking middle of the night. Fucking came out of my throat, dude. It's like when that happens, it feels like you're fucking choking. It comes, literally, I vomit through my nose and my nose and my mouth. No, I went through my nose, dude. It's like suffocating. I had to take my fucking acid pills. It was like, it's so annoying. Oh, you're doing a job interview? Hello? I didn't even touch anything. I had the phone on the table. It's weird. Are you going for a job interview? What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, so you're going into the office with Scott? Nice. That's good. Oh. Mm. Yeah. So hopefully you get something good, man. Your resume is like one page, right? You don't do like a 2-page resume, right? I know, but yeah, but no. Honestly, like you really don't need. I'd be honest, dude. Like I learned like a lot. You don't even want to go with one. Can't you talk with the girl when you go there? See if like remember, shorter the better, no matter who you are. Even if you're President Biden, try to put it as short as you can. That's just the rule of thumb. I don't know. I've always heard one page. Try to do. Oh. I just heard, the only reason why I heard that is because a lot of these people look, remember, they get thousands of resumes. They don't really focus on any one person. They just kind of skim through a lot of it. And if something just feels like it's like a fucking book. Alright, that's good, yeah. Mm. Mm. See, they say a 3-page resume. I'm looking on Google. They say most resumes should be between 1 and 2 pages, but 3 pages is a bad idea. It says in most cases using it says recruiters want job applications to applicants to present qualifications in a 1-page resume. But 3-page resume for a job most likely includes irrelevant information, and hiring manager won't have time to read it. But they just said it, a 3-page resume. Yeah. It says right here, as a general rule of thumb, you can get away with 1 page for every 5 to 10 years of relevant experience. No, don't do 3. It says 3 pages is a bad idea. No, it says it's... Not 3 pages. It just, look, Steve, it just says a 3-page resume for a job most likely includes irrelevant, and it says also, and a hiring manager, which you just said, won't have time to read all of it. That's what it just said, and you just said hiring manager. That's what it said. It says here, right here, 3-page resume is a bad, in bold, bad idea. No, I'm not saying 1 page, Steve. I'm not saying 2 pages. Okay, 2 is alright. Nobody's saying 2 is bad. 2. Alright. Alright. Just saying what I read. Maybe. Alright. First thing, I'm just saying, dude, with all the amount of resumes that people get, you're not special, unfortunately, Steven. I don't care how many years or whatever you did. You're not special. They don't know that, and they want to see good shit right off the fucking bat because they're gonna have 10. They're gonna. All right, but how many jobs have you got besides Scott? But it didn't happen. Well, and I'm not trying to be negative, but it didn't happen because whatever. That's if they have. That's if they have the time to read it, Steve. That's if like you and 10 other people are doing it. You think like, what do you think? You go one within 100,000 of 99,000 people. They get a lot, dude. Some sanitation people, they'll have like 30, 40,000 resumes, dude. Yeah, but every. All I know is any job positions that are open. It's not like they have like 10 choices. Okay, I'm just saying they get hundreds of thousands of choices, and everybody's. No, I may say maybe 2 pages. Yeah. No, they're gonna care about what you did, your main job with Scott. That's what they're gonna care about. Right. Well, I'm two page. I'm not saying 2 pages are bad. I think 2 pages is good. Well, it says yeah. You should have it. Yeah, you should have at least 2 pages. Hold on. 2 pages. When should your resume be 3 pages? And this is from ZipJob. It says your resume should rarely be 3 pages or more. Most of the information for a 3-page resume is better suited for a LinkedIn profile. Why your resume should be 3 pages? You could have more than 2 pages if you're. It says right here why your resume should be 3 pages. You could have more than 2 pages if you're a high level or senior level executive, or in a very complex technical field. For examples, for example, a scientist may need more than 2 pages to showcase background, education, published work, and studies. An executive resume. An executive resume usually shows a clear progression of responsibility and job titles with many related experience. This is from zipjob.com and it was only written It's only written 20. So what? All of Google's wrong, and you're 100% correct. That's what you're telling me. It's them. It's them. No, I believe you. I know they do. But I'm just saying in general, like, what's gonna make them go to their websites, right? I mean, like, not everybody's interested in people, Steve. People fucking don't like people for the most part. Okay, they're gonna hire their family. You know what? It's all. Sure, sure. Yeah, but I mean, like, but that's not what you're doing. You're not handing business cards and websites. Well, see what happens. I mean, like, I guess listen to the girl, see what she says. She probably knows. Yeah. Yeah. Now, yeah, you take her out for lunch. Just splurge. She's doing you a favor. Oh, that's good too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying what I read. So I mean, you take it how it is. I don't. Yeah. Mm. 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 No. But it doesn't say one page. It says that you got to have one page is for people who just entered or the work field. You're obviously. I mean, 2 page. I mean, look. Look, for your age. I think they look at the age too, and for your age and everything. I think two pages is definitely good. If you're gonna start going over 3, that's where I think you're playing with. Because you're not 20, you're 37, so it's like, yeah, 2 pages is probably good, and then even over 2 maybe, but I wouldn't. Good luck. I feel like they almost never call references. Period. Man. Like, I mean, like, it's a rare thing from what I heard. I mean, they will. They do. I think if they're sketchy, if they're like sketchy, like maybe let's just say if your resume talks a lot of shit, they may start calling. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That then. Yeah. No. How's this Stephen looking? And you're gonna be like, and he's gonna be like, well, you know, he didn't even say to tell them. He's like, he actually counseled me very well after I murdered my wife. I don't mention that guy. Don't mention that guy. You just let them know you had a long military career and you finished it. And you didn't. Yeah, I think you'll be okay, man. You do. I mean, like, yeah, you do. That's true. You do have a lot of stuff, man. I mean, I think it just kind of sucks how hard it is for you, even with all that stuff. It's like, yeah. Well, that's what there's something called overqualification, and they get nervous sometimes if somebody's resume is too much shit going on, because then it feels like, well, I could hire a younger person with half this experience and give them 4 times less to pay. You know what I'm trying to say? And they'll like, this is what happened to my dad, because my dad was doing the same thing, and my dad was worth around 100 and something thousand a year because he was a vice president, and they he had too much. He was overqualified because they wound up hiring a younger guy to only make like 65, 70 that could do the same job my dad did, and it was like, yeah, he's young and he could be living with parents, or he could be roommates with people. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Right. Hmm. Hmm. would have. Yeah. Oh yeah. A Bible camp? What is it? What? Why'd you go there? Ah, right, right, okay. Interesting. I don't know. I just a lot of times I feel like it's you know how many probably like I think somebody told me so many high positions people have that like literally have no fucking good resumes or experience, it's it's fucked up though. It's like fucked up in a sense, right? It's like who you know and everything. That's true. unless, unless they're killing taste. Yeah. Right. I told you the kid Frank who went to jail for 4.5 years. As soon as he got out of jail, had that construction job. I mean, within a week. Within a week. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I've never seen like until I've seen it in real life. I've never seen somebody do almost 5 years in jail and get out and get a job that gives almost 1,500 a week. I've never seen that before. And until I met Ralphie and Frank and Bruno and Frank, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, Frank got his union job back." And I'm like, "Didn't he just get out of jail like 2 weeks ago?" Yeah, yeah. As soon as he got out, I swear to God, Steve, it was like not even. It was literally 1 week. Like it was like his jail time was like graduating a sentence, man. I mean, it was like graduating a school. His jail time. But he's in that Italian construction union shit, so that's why. But I just thought it was funny. Like, oh, like he went to college for 4 years, but he actually went to Rikers or some shit like that. I think he was making 13 or 14 a week. But that's like I said to myself, boy, for somebody who goes to jail for a week, 13 to 14. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has to wake up like 6 in the morning and he busts his back with the concrete. It's a lot of labor work, but that's some good money though. All I'm saying is, for a guy that just did 4 years in jail for gun possession, and it wasn't a regular gun, Steve, he had an AR-15. For a guy who did 4.5 years in jail for gun possession, he came out with a good job within a week. Yeah, but he had a good lawyer. No. He had a really good lawyer and all this stuff. They tried to give him like pretty much more. Like you're right, 8 to 10. Because what they were even doing, Steve, they were measuring the distance from his apartment to the police precinct, and it was within a certain distance. That was tacking on more crime penalties because they were thinking like, oh shit, he's within this distance from the police precinct, which means he could have was planning to attack the police precinct. All this shit was going against him, so he was gonna do like even like up to 12 years at some point. But he had a good lawyer, and he was and he got out on good behavior. All that shit. He did like 4.5 years. I know the guy. Oh, but they were like going hard. I'm telling you, they were going hard on him. Because I met the guy. I went to me and told David and even Bruno. We went to dinner with the guy before. I met the guy. He's like a couple of years younger than me. He's Ralphie's brother. But yeah. I mean, I met the guy. Again, he's not a bad person. He was paranoid and he was collecting guns and whatever the fuck he was doing. And that was the whole thing. And he didn't ever do any crime before that, Steve. No crime, no criminal record. So you got to be very careful. It depends. The laws are different, maybe, but you still got to be careful, man, because yeah, right. Yeah, like you got to be careful depending where you live, you know. Yeah, probably the island's different. This was in Queens. You can't do this shit over here. This was like in Ozone Park, not far from you. So. And he had and you know what he had? He had it in the ceiling. He had it in the ceiling. And how they found out was I think he had a couple of friends over and somebody ratted him out. You know, because they said, oh, you know, he's got this blah blah blah, and he's not mentally stable. Yeah, well, I don't know why he's putting in the ceiling, but whatever. He went to jail. Dude, his brother let the cops in. His older brother let the police in without even a fucking warrant. That's how stupid this family is. Like, they're dumb. Like, they're not. Like, and that's why Bruno was super mad. Bruno was super mad because he's like, why would you let the cops in? Why would the brother do it? The brother's like, oh, he didn't know. He thought maybe like, oh, I didn't. Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a little more risky for you, but I'm saying at the same time, why would the brother let the cops in? It's pretty stupid. So that's probably what it was. Yeah, his older brother, he didn't know how to act. He just let them in. Because Bruno was flipping out, man. Bruno was like, "What up, Pfizer? Why would you fucking let them in? Are you crazy?" The brother's like, "I didn't know he was collecting shit. I didn't know." Like, your brother's all fucking stupid. And that's what pretty much everybody was telling him. It wasn't just bros. Like the world was like the whole family was telling him, say that. Like, why did you let them in? But like they're retarded, Steve. They're not the smartest family. They just have a big Italian family that has a lot of connections. You know, that's all it is. You know? Every time somebody asks for something, he always gives you like free shit. He gives you extra at the times. Yeah, well, that's his problem. He's not very punctual. He doesn't answer the phone good. Like You know, yeah, half the times he doesn't even know what the fuck he has. I know, like that's his own problem. But I'm saying, but like usually he's pretty generous. He tries to give you more. He tries to like do things like that. I mean, he's not that bad. Yeah, he's not like he's pretty generous guy for the most part. You know, he's not like a guy that's not generous. But um, uh, when you go in the city, you go or walk into the train. No. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just fucking hate. I just hate all that. I mean, I hate the process to be honest. Yeah, I know, but like I like it's just it's. I wish it was easier for you. You know? The only thing is like like it's just always a pain in the ass. These fucking. What are you gonna do? I mean, you gotta do it, right? The world does it. Yeah. Hey, get in there. Get in Reebok. Dude, the Shaq. That isn't Shaq sneakers Reebok. Yeah. Fuck, you know Michael Jordan hated Reebok, right? Like, remember that one picture you sent me with the kid with the shoes off or something? And you're like, oh, look, he's a douchebag. But it's a little more complex. It's more complex than that though, because even during the Olympic gold medal, the Dream Team, he covered the Reebok sign on his jersey. Like yeah, yeah. Yeah. Uh, Yeah. Mm. 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 Right. Well, I don't know why he hated, like, I don't know why he didn't like Reebok so much, but like, again, that picture, he covered the sign on like I said, on the Dream Team. Like, there was a Reebok logo on, he, like, covered it. Like, it was, you gotta, yeah. At that time, maybe? Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I believe it, because even if you watch Winning Time, if you watch Winning Time, you could see that on Winning Time, the show, that, yeah, Nike was like the bottom of the barrel at one point, and then, yeah, Magic Johnson almost took those Nikes, those Jordan ones. Magic almost took them, and he denied them. He didn't want them. He went with Converse, because Converse was number one at that time. Right. And what happened to Converse All Star? They never fucking good. Right? Like, they think nobody buys those fucking things. They look like fucking bowling shoes, Converse All Stars. They look like fucking bowling shoes. Like, who wants to wear that shit? Really? Dude, but Jordan's shoes were so famous. Even they said they were going like Cabbage Patch Kids, even when he first came out, like before he had any championships. Yep. You know what it was? Because he was very photogenic of him flying through the air and everything, and they had like a lot of posts. Yeah, and he was very photogenic though. Like, people like that. They're like, "Who is this guy flying through the air?" Even though he wasn't doing that every game, it was just like he'd do that. He's very photogenic, and he posterized a lot of people. He was photogenic, and then, like, because of the whole thing, he just happened to, sign. It just kind of luck, I think, really. Why Nike and Jordan became so big. It was kind of luck, really, in my opinion. But I mean, well, it was. Here's the thing. It was sure, but it was lucky. It was like the right time. It's like, now I don't think any basketball player today can come out with a sneaker line that's going to triumph Jordan. I don't care how good they are, because it's also sneakers are. Remember, sneakers were kind of a new thing back then, like, right? Basketball sneakers, like, not everybody were wearing basketball sneakers. So basketball sneakers itself, Iverson's actually sold very well that one year, but 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 basically, I think the whole thing was with basketball sneakers is that they kind of blew up at the right time and they were endorsed by the right person. It's just kind of like it was just the perfect storm of everything going. And they look good, right? They look better than those stupid Converse sneakers. Those Converse sneakers, dude, they look like bowling shoes. Like, who the fuck? They look like bowling shoes. They're like tennis shoes, for God's sake. They don't look good. And like you said, they're not really good on the feet either. Yeah, the Jordan 1s weren't too good either, but they evolved, you know? They evolved over the years to actually be really good basketball shoes. The Jordan 1s just look cool. They look cool, but they're not the best wearing. Yeah. Once they started coming out with the later ones, those were like actually good shoes for basketball, right? That's what. No, the Jordan 1s, even Jordan tried to wear them later on in his career. It was like his feet were all fucked up. Yeah. All I know is that it was just the right time, man. It was the right time. Basketball sneakers in and of itself were getting popular. Jordan was getting popular. The sport was getting popular. It was just like, it was the perfect storm. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. Because now it's like we kind of know it already. Like everybody knows basketball now. Like, you know, like that's the whole thing. People jump on new shit, you know? And when something is like really new and everything, people are like, oh yeah, we gotta have it. We gotta have it. What was a good... Here's a good example. Like, remember those... Did your niece and nephew have those stupid spinner things? I'm sure they did. Yeah, those. Okay, well, those caught on in like a year or two period so much that they became almost like $1 billion industry. And guess what? Nobody has them no more. That just goes to show you how things just come and go, man. Sometimes, you know, it's just got to be the right time. Well, yeah, but they after a while, people are like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what is this? Like, what's so good about this? What's so special about this thing? You know, that's like the whole thing. It's like okay, like it's cool looking in the beginning, and you can learn little tricks with like a yo-yo, right? And then next thing you know, it's just like after a while, you're like, eh. You know what I mean, Steve? So it's like that's really what it boils down to. It's like to be the Renaissance man, you just have to come up with the right thing at the right fucking time. It could be something as stupid as a fidget spinner, and that can become... Look at Pogs. You remember Pogs? Me and you? I think you had that. Yeah. Right? Right. Well, look how Pop... But they were like a huge success for at least 3 years. Maybe 2 to 3 years. They were huge success. People had the tubes. They were collecting them. I had like 3 tubes full. Slammers, right? All the slammers, and dude, the Pogs were like so fucking big for like a 2-3 year period, and then just nobody wanted anything to do with them after that. And you're like, wow, like, you know, it always puzzles me, like how these things happen, like how something just blows the fuck up and then just dies out. Yeah, well, that was because of Pokemon. Yeah. No, first of all, Game Boy was on its way out until fucking Pokemon. Let's be honest. The Game Boy was on its shelf life at that point. I had that too. Whatever. They stole it from me. Post-traumatic stress with the Game Boy Color. But yeah, I had the Game Boy Color also. It was alright, the Game Boy Color. Like it was too much like it was just too much like the regular Game Boy. That's like I didn't like. It's like Nintendo just kept. It was small. It was light. It had definitely had a sharper screen. It had no backlight though. I just used regular batteries, AA's, just like Game Boy. Probably because it probably wasn't as much of a strain on the. It was a smaller system, so it probably didn't use as much. What I think they should have put a I personally think they should have put a backlight in the Game Boy Color. I don't know why they didn't do that. I think it was a bad choice. You know? Because, you know what I mean? Game Gear had a backlight. Nintendo always knew how to, like, try to skimp out without... You know what I mean? They tried to... Yeah, like a stupid light thing, like a magnifying light thing you could put on top of it. But it wasn't. It didn't look good. I'm talking about a backlight inside the thing that could really highlight the colors, like Game Gear, for example. And then what they did is they would make games based on the backlight too. Like so, they would actually work. They would work with it. The whole problem. Yeah, but the whole problem with Game Boy was just wildly popular because of Nintendo's branding. But to be honest, it wasn't really all that good. I think the TurboGrafx links and the fucking Game Gear was so much fucking ahead of its time compared to that Game Boy. But Game Boy was just wildly popular because of Nintendo. So, you know? But what are you gonna do? Fighting with me? Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I just look at it like that. You know, I think it's right time, right place, who you know, right idea. You gotta have capital and money to invest in it, you know, produce it, whatever. It's all fucking shit that makes something big. And a lot of people fail. More people fail than not. Like, it probably, like, the percentage of somebody being successful with something like a fidget spinner is probably, like, 1% compared to 99% of things like that just fail. You know what I mean? Because like you know, it just whatever it catches on, man. It's weird. It's weird how things work like that. But I think those days were a lot easier back in the day, like during the pog time and shit. Because now with the internet, it's like all about the next app and shit, right? It's not really about like you know physical things as much anymore. What's the same thing with movies? How many movies they canceled? Look, they had a Batgirl movie completely fucking finished, and they didn't even release it. You know? Virtual reality was a fucking joke. Let's be honest. It didn't do well. And Zuckerberg tries so fucking hard for his meta shit, but like to be honest, it's not really working. He lost a lot of money because at the end of the day, nobody wants to wear something like a helmet on your fucking head. Nobody wants to do it. Try putting that on your mom and see if she likes it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're expensive. It's like the Zoom. You know, Zoom makes sense. Everybody has a laptop now, so like shit like that. But like fucking stupid virtual reality helmets. Like who the fuck cares at the end of the day? Shit, I don't. No, it's not. It's not. Put it on like a little pair of glasses or something. Maybe some. Yeah. But they gotta make it, but it can't look like shitty holograms from Star Wars. Like, it's gotta look real, man. Like, you know what I mean? They could do it, but it's gotta look real. It's gotta look good. It's gotta look like you're actually there. Right? You can't just have like a little Help Us Obi-Wan hologram. Those things look horrible. You might as well just have the phone. Yeah, but it would have to look really fucking sharp. Like, it would have to be... I mean, it would be novel, don't get me wrong. It would be... I mean, what would be so novel about it is to actually capture light, like, to create an image on, like, what? Like, on air and particles and stuff? It's like, that's, like, the fucking interesting part. I don't think you could do it, though. I don't think that technology really exists. I mean... It could. I mean, um, I almost feel like, yeah, I don't know. That's why like people have projectors and stuff. You need the light to kind of hit something, right? So how? I mean, there's a lot of floating shit in the air, like dust and weird shit. And if you could somehow make the light reflect off of shit to create a that would be an ingenious technology. That would be unbelievable if somebody could pull it off. You know? Which is like, is it impossible? People thought radios were never a possibility. Like a radio wave, people were like, what the fuck is a radio wave? A frequency going through the air to actually allow people to hear a voice on the fucking thing, right? Nobody thought that was possible. They thought that was the way of fucking magic, but it was possible. So that's why you can't rule it out. You know, you never know. I think there's a lot of things that are possible that people just haven't really. Oh yeah, with the scientists. Right, right. But like Radio Shack had kits like that. And they had also like how to build your own motor and shit. And all sorts of kits like that. But I'll be honest though, dude, the church was always suppressing everything. You know that. Because you know why? Because the church wanted everybody to feel that the earth was the center of the fucking universe. And when all these like astronomers and shit were saying, well, wait a minute, or Galileo almost said, we're not the center of the universe. It was like, considered like a heretic, like a blasphemous move to say that we're not that. Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, all he had to do was be in a dark fucking room and be like, how come his light isn't lighting up the wall? Oh yeah, don't even say that, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, God, yeah, the church was fucking dude. The church held back people. I feel. Yeah, yeah, they had some sort of evil in them, like a sin. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like a generational sin or something. That's fucking bullshit. I thought that I can't go to church, dude. Organized religion is just fucking disgusting, really. People that, and it's like so funny, people that defend it too. Like, oh, well, I don't like when people say organized religion. I am a Christian, but I don't consider it a religion. It's a way of life or something. It's like, oh, motherfucker, you're part of a religion. Don't fucking act. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Retard, what? Oh, like the arrow or whatever. Oh. Mm. They may get rid of those fucking arrow and cross signs and shit like that. They're thinking about getting rid. They're gonna get rid of everything, dude. They already changed the name of monkeypox. They got rid of monkeypox. You know that, right? Look. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Dude, well, first of all, did you see that fucking drag queen? What she looked like? That thing? What she looked like a demon, man. Like, it was like a demon. It didn't. It was like scary. And first of all, like, if you're gonna hire somebody who's a trans, at least hire a good one that looked pretty good. Don't hire fucking this. What the fuck did they hired like something out of a monster magazine? I mean, like that. And I'm sorry, but that's not. Yeah, that's not being hateful. That's just common sense, man. If you're gonna hire someone that actually like, oh wow, that person's a I didn't even realize. Like, hire somebody who's like that. Like, don't hire. It did look like a monster. She had white face, a big fucking red wig. She had horns. They put horns on her. She looked like a devil. Yeah, like what the hell is that? Like, and you're gonna read shit to fucking little kids? I mean, are you looking? See, that's why I kind of think some of these people are assholes looking for trouble, dude. No, they are. They're assholes. They're looking for trouble. They try to push the envelope so much so somebody can say something and then they can call them a racist, bigot, whatever. I really think that's the case. Sometimes I really feel that they push that envelope to see how somebody. They want reactions, right? It's kind of like when you make a joke, you want people to laugh, right? It's the same thing. They want reaction. They want attention. They want eyes on them. And it's like being a regular trans is not good enough. They have to like dress like a fucking devil or something. See, that's the whole thing. It's ridiculous. That's what I feel anyway. I feel it's ridiculous. Like when they Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I think most kids would be afraid of that. I think the normal looking trend would probably be more grooming. I mean, that when you look like a fucking like that, I think kids and adults alike are afraid of you because you look like something out of hell almost. Like you don't look normal, man. Like to think that actually is like an attractive, good look. It's like no, that you look like you're out of a mental institution. You know, but whatever. I mean, it. Yeah, well, if they think that's a good idea to teach kids with that type of look, I mean, whatever. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm just glad I'm not a kid in that classroom. And there is grooming when it comes to stuff like that because they give a lot. Well, no, but I know, but the problem is they give puberty blockers to kids by a company called I looked all into this by a company called Lupron or some shit like that. They give puberty block. No, they're not healthy because what happens is they take puberty blockers and by the time they're 20, 22 years old, they had some people that were on them at 22 years old and they were taking them since 11 and they have the lungs and organs of an 11-year-old. The puberty blocker actually prevented their organs from growing. So there's a lot of complications with those fucking things, dude. That's why they had an 870-something million lawsuit, man. And they had all these places in the UK shut down for doing transgenderism on youth because it's like, it's very dangerous. Like, it's actually, like, take aside the movements for a second. It's actually very dangerous. You know? Like, okay, if you're 25, you want to do it, fine. If you're 22, you want to do it, fine. But honestly, doing these underage transitioning is so fucking dangerous, dude. And the movements are so retarded, they don't do their homework, right? They never do their proper homework. And they just follow a movement. And they want to point the finger and call everybody in every name under the sun before doing proper science research. Because they don't even believe in science no more. That's the problem. Science is non-existent to these people. Biology doesn't exist. Science doesn't exist. Physics should be up to debate now. One physicist said, physics is something that's kind of like yes or no, right? It's a solution or not. It's kind of like math. And the physicist said, now if you're going to have answers up to debate on how people feel, that's no longer physics. But this is what they want. They want, like, to change things to be like, well, I don't feel 3 plus 3 should be 6. I feel like it could be, in some cases, it could be 7. That doesn't work like that. Right. And they'll come up with some crazy fucking... Look, dude, I was watching this thing yesterday, and they were saying, how many things can you find with Christmas that's woke, right? And it was funny because people were like the ornaments. Right? It was a game they were playing. So the ornaments, they're like, why are all these colored ornaments on the bottom of the tree underneath the white bright star that sits on top of the tree? That is, they were coming up with all these things. It was so funny. I know, but they were doing it like in segregation and shit. It was actually really funny because like they were playing a game. Like how can you make things woke? They said mistletoe. How is mistletoe woke? They're like, oh, well, that's an invitation for sexual assault. It's like it was funny. They were playing a game. They were actually just playing a game, trying to make everything woke, like with Christmas. It was actually really funny. It was a bunch of like they were doing it as a joke. You know, like what could be offensive to people and stuff. They were like, stockings. What's next? Stockings. And they were thinking. They were trying to think. It was like they were actually Republicans doing this to make fun of the left, or they were conservative. But it was actually really funny. I thought it was funny. I was like, oh shit. I thought the ornament thing was funny. I thought the invitation to sexual assault mistletoe. It's like they were like, why is it named mistletoe? That's assuming everybody has their toes. like stupid shit like that, you know? Yeah, it was actually really funny. It was like just a play on words and shit, but it was funny though. Yeah, it's dumb shit like that. And then why all the colored ornaments have to be hanging underneath the white star? Right, exactly. You're like the stars are in the sky. They don't think, but that's the whole thing. They don't look at the logical, like the whole idea behind this shit, the woke shit. They don't look at the logical shit. It's just like they look at ways to make things appear racist, or even when it's not. Right? Like there are times they're correct. I'm not saying they're wrong on everything, right? Because sometimes they are right, but a lot of times they're fucking out there, dude. Like, why would you change the name of monkeypox to mpox? Literally, the name got changed. It's no longer monkeypox. It's mpox. It's not even short. It's actually changed. The name is completely changed because they felt monkeypox had racism in it. But why do they feel the word monkey is being racist? Because it's a monkey. It's an animal. It's not a human. Why are they attributing racism to it is the question. Isn't that kind of like sensitive bitches, like Dave Chappelle said? You're all a bunch of sensitive bitches. Like, but that's what I feel. Like, why, you know what I'm trying to say, to actually change it? And scientists got mad, too, because they're like, look, we've been writing articles a certain way, now we gotta change everything. It's like, again, you're just making the life of people, you're making people's jobs harder, you're making people have to know pronouns and stupid shit. It shouldn't be the case, man. It just shouldn't, whatever. This is the, look, we have to accept it. We're here, and that's it. It's not like, you know, we can't do nothing. That's just the unfortunate part. And I don't think anybody could. Not even Elon Musk or people with money like that. You can't, that's it. It's just here to stay at this point. Well, he wanted to. He did put a vote the other day. Should he step down or not? And I think it was actually the vote was higher. They wanted him. They wanted 56% said for him. 56% wanted him to step down, and 48% wanted him to stay. So it was like something 47. So some shit like that. So, I'll be honest. I think there was too many people working for Twitter. It was like there was over 6,000 content overseers that were basically blocking people from having any opinions, and 6,000 people. So like guys like Auric and you were a small percentage of people. It was these content overseers, which have like no fucking skill. They're completely like woke political people, just overlooking comments. And that's like, to me, wait a second, 6,000 people or 8,000 people just doing that? That's kind of weird to me. You know, that's not like, you know what I'm trying to say, Steve? It's not like, it's like, I understand if you have a skill. If you're an engineer like Auric or something, yeah, that guy needs to stay on. But a content overseer? That's like a fucking vlogger, dude. Like, do you need 8,000 of them? Like, people don't realize, like, that was one of the big issues with things like Twitter, man. Because it was like, fuck Twitter. I don't even use Twitter. You know, the only time I've ever used Twitter was when I was following the wrestling game because they were like hashtag fix NBA 2K21, I think it was at the time, or 20, 2K20, and I followed it for that reason. But I kind of hate that app. I don't like it at all. I don't care about celebrities. I don't care about Hollywood. I just watch YouTube. I'll get my information from YouTube. That's it. I don't need to fucking go on Twitter and post shit. I don't want anybody to hear what I have to say. Like in a comment. You know? And what's the point of that Twitter shit, really? Oh, so they had like this, what do you call it? Remember like that DJ that asked the girls, he said like, or something, he said like a 14-year-old boy fuck all these up, right? So I think it was the same guy or something. And he was asking a bunch of different girls, like they were like supermodels. And he said to them, if you had a choice, he asked each one, and there was like 10 of them, or 8 of them. He said, if you have a choice between between a long-term boyfriend or Instagram, what do you choose? What do you think all of them chose? Yep. And he was like, this is the fucking problem. Why are you all choosing Instagram? They asked each girl, he's like, Instagram. Oh, Instagram, definitely. Instagram. And it was just like, this is the problem today. This is why we have low birth rates and shit like that. Because you are all addicted to attention. And you're like, no, it's because I'm not in a relationship to begin with. So why am I going to choose something that's not there? And they were like all like defending Instagram. Dude, social media... Oh, I never downloaded Instagram once. I never had a desire for Instagram. Ever. I just thought it was a fucking social media attention grabbing shit. Look, to me, Facebook is enough. Why do you need so much? I mean, I understand. People do a lot of dating on Instagram now. They say Instagram, believe it or not, gets more dating response than all the dating apps put together. I don't know if you know that. I don't know. Most men don't use it as much as women. Women love the attention, dude. I read an art like attention to some of these women is like pornography to a man. Like when you like, for example, like you know how like men will look at like porn and shit. Well, women will look at the attention that they get in the same way that a man extroverts his attention to porn. It's actually a real psychological thing. Like how a guy will look at porn and a woman will get there off by seeing all the attention they grab. Because in real life, half of these women, when they leave the house, nobody's really looking at them like that. Like, they get catcalled here and there, but it's not like the same as the fucking Instagram, you know? Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, it's a fantasy world, right? You know, they live in a fantasy. That's the reality. This is why we have low birth rates in this fucking country and shit. This is why birth rates are high in other countries that don't fucking, you know, conform to social media the way we do. Like, dude, America's all fucked up, man, really. Technology is like a double-edged sword, you know. It's good in some ways. It keeps people alive. And, you know, there's medications for things. They can, you know, they'll keep your parents alive to 100. But in other ways, it's not good. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. So. This is another reason why they said that a teacher's job is harder than ever today, because it came to a point where they used to, like, you know, yell at kids for having their phones out. Now they can't even really yell at the kids. They said in the classrooms that it's like the kids have their phones out like all the fucking time. It's like they can't even yell at the kids because it's like they can yell at one kid, "Oh, put your phone away," and then just somebody in the other side of the classroom has the phone out. Like it'll just keep happening. So they kind of just gave up with it, right? They just kind of like, all right, like, you know, I'm going to teach the class, and that's that. But, like, the kids, they can't get the kids off their phones, dude. Imagine, dude, when we were young and in school, there was no such thing as stuff like this. Like, there was no, what's the term? Like, there was nobody, like, no, none of us did, dude. We had a Game Boy here and there. Like, yeah, there was a kid with a Game Boy here and there. But there was no, like, object to hold in your hands the whole time on the desk, and like teachers are almost desensitized to it. And the mothers and parents don't want the phone taken. Like, it's like, hey, that's $1,000 phone I bought for my kid to make sure he's safe or she's safe when they come home. I don't want them fucking, don't take their phone away from them. So teachers have no choice. They have to let the kids have the phone. And it's like the kids are just on the phone texting each other as the class is going on. This is why the whole younger generation is going to be fucking stupid as fucking hell. This is why they all confirm the feelings and not facts. Because it's like they're not even paying attention in class. They're texting each other. You know? I'm just, God, man, what a time, right? What a weird day and age things have gotten to. It doesn't make me angry, really. It's like you kind of just have to accept it and adapt in a way. But it's like, it is weird. I'm going to stay at it. It's definitely strange. It's not like all these things are bad. I mean, to have entertainment, to have a TV, encyclopedia, and every form of everything in the palm of your hand is not a terrible thing if you look at the positives of it. But there's a lot of negatives too. So between like a lot of pornography addiction is mostly men, right? That's like a big male thing. It's like 90% men, and social media addiction is mostly women. That's like 75 to 80% women. So when you have social media addiction, which is like 80% women, and then you have pornography addiction, which is like 90% men, that's a perfect storm right there for never having relationships anymore. Because the man just whacks one out, and the woman just gets her attention from fucking 1,000 drooling men. Women get their attention from that, hoping that the unicorn comes with the fucking 7 houses, who's the 5 percentile that all the women want. And whereas the men just whack one out to a porn, and they're like, oh, I'm good, I'll play video games. That's it. That's what we're living in right now. The men whack one out, play video games, and the women are on social media trying to attract, an Elon Musk. This is what we're dealing with. It used to be what they called the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of women out there are attracted to 20% of men. Now it's like 90 or 95% of women out there are attracted to 5% of men. It's actually, the percentages have actually got kind of like askewed. And this is like, I'm talking about like attractive women. No, not in our favor. I've watched so many things on this, dude. It's like, yeah, it's definitely not in our favor. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I just personally think people just need to get off social media and just, like, go outside. I think it really boils down to that. Like, if you go outside and join, like, groups and things and actually keep really busy, I think that's how you probably meet people. Probably, like, that have substance. Because no matter how much you live on social media and things like that, I personally think nothing could really replace real life interaction. So, I think that's the way to go, unfortunately. But it's, look, it's a lot of people don't have time for real life interaction. You gotta get dressed, you gotta show up places. Some people don't. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest, I don't go out as much as I should, and it's like this. I really don't have a desire to. That's probably one. Well, there's a lot to do. You just have to figure it out. Like, we still have a lot of fun going to college. Yeah, I mean, we have fun doing that. I mean, it's still open. That is true, I know. I feel like we have to get, like, far. But, we just need to get other people maybe, like, into shit, too. Like, that's the whole thing. And why does it have to always be Magic? Magic is... One thing about Magic, I like the game, it's just a fucking money pit, dude. It's like a cost... It's a very expensive game to follow, to keep up with. Orange brings his fucking decks from 97. Stupid ass fucking 1997 decks, like, really? I personally, like, I think, like, what would be really cool, dude? like we'll go into like uncommons and playing like a game like Axis and Allies or something. You know what I mean? Like a war game or something like that, or Risk or something like that. Axis and Allies is a really cool game. Like you know what I mean? Like we'll go into uncommons and play like a really cool like miniature board game that's that doesn't cost like that much money and is like you don't have to always keep up with the fucking new shit all the time as like a money pit. And just having like a group of people to get away from what is it like to get away from technology for a bit, right? To get away from screens and shit. I think that would be kind of cool. Just to get away from all that shit. That's what the one thing I kind of liked about Uncommons is the fact that like you're kind of getting away from all that stuff, Like it's like because like if you think about it, how much everybody lives on a screen nowadays. Whether it doesn't matter what it is. It's like whether it's video games or, it's just that's what everybody does now. Everybody lives on a fucking screen. And I kind of think that's like it's a shame, It's a shame nobody really like gets together as much. Or I mean, like it's not really true. They do get together, like there's meetup groups and stuff like that. But so I mean, I guess it's more organized in a way for people to get. Well, I have Magic the Gathering online, like the actual online digital cards. I do have like quite a bit of them. No, they have that going. That's been going for years. Yeah, no, Arena might have got finished. Arena was basically like they gave you decks to work with, right, and stuff like that. But the actual Magic the Gathering online, you buy digital cards. Like I still have an account I can log in right now, and I have like over 12,000 cards. Like those cards weren't the same as the actual real cards. Like the packs are worth the same. Everything's worth the same. It's not like you know what I'm trying to say? It's not like the Arena. Arena was kind of, they gave you stuff. There's lobbies and stuff, and they have what they call tokens, and one token is kind of like equivalent to $1, so things go for tokens. So if somebody wants to trade, like, let's just say, an $18 card, it would go for like 18 tokens and stuff. So that there's a huge trade lobby with that game. Huge. Like, absolutely huge. It's like, then the foil cards obviously go for... And if you look up the book value, like, let's just say you look up, like, the real-life value of a certain card and the digital value of that card, it's almost identical. Like, they actually follow it pretty close. It's actually a pretty good system, dude. It works really good. Like, I played a lot of games. It was funny because the decks I have, like the Dinosaur deck and the Vampire deck, I actually spent like close to $300-400 and got those decks pretty much almost the same on the digital. And I was winning a lot of games, dude. Like it was like Pokemon. Every game I played I was winning. It's like it was because it was like I think those were really good decks. And it was fun. Like that's the one thing I like about digital Magic is that you can get games instantly. Like as soon as you sit down on the table, somebody joins. It's like it's not like Uncommons and you're just gonna wait. You could or like you have to have friends. And you could just sit down at a table and wait like forever for anybody to even fucking have a game. So it does have a little bit of benefits in that sense. You know, like if you want to hone in on your skills and tune your skills, it's kind of hard to do that if you can't play games. It's not terrible, you know? It's fun. I think it's fun. But again, it's expensive, and that's the problem with it. They don't charge you a monthly fee or a yearly fee, because they get all their money from the packs. But they do charge you, I mean, again, you know, that's the whole thing, is that when you decide to come back on that shit, they know you're going to spend like several $100s. Which would be equivalent to a year's worth of a subscription or something. So that's why it's free. And they got those starter decks you could buy for like, you know, $15 or $20. They got all that shit. And then you can they have a whole like very extensive deck editor where you can edit your decks and they have side decks and all that shit. They got a lot of stuff, man. You can edit the sideboard. There's all different formats you can play from like normal to standard. I would say last time I checked, there was around like 2,000 to 3,000 people online at any given time. So it may not seem like a lot, but it is a lot because they're always on. Like it's not like, yeah, like it's a decent amount. I mean, like there's definitely a lot more people than that. It's just that that's people that are, what do they call it, concurrent online players or something. So it might even be more than that. But the problem again, it's a game that costs money. That's the problem. Is everybody? I think the biggest complaint about that game is that everybody that plays it is like, oh, I'm working. Like I talked to one dude and he was like, oh, I really want to get this deck. And I was like, I was in a chat with him. He's like, but I have to work overtime. He's like, I'm going to be working overtime just to afford this deck. Like people are like working overtime to afford cards, dude. And I'm like, this is like fucked up, man. Like people taking like 2 jobs or overtime, just to get like, just to build a deck. you know? Um, they had their disclaimers, right? Where it's like basically, if God forbid they do go bankrupt, they can technically, it would go down the drain. And that's kind of with anything digital, dude. That's like if Sony went bankrupt or something, like, any of our games could just go. That's the whole thing. That's why people are a little cautious with owning digital products. But I'll tell you one thing. Magic the Gathering Online has been up since, God, me and Stefan played that shit back since like 99 or 2001 or something. Or 2000. Yeah, my account from 2000 is still accessible. I have cards that old that I can still use. Like, I just went on it, what was it? Like 2 years ago, and everything was exactly as I left off from 20-something years ago. So you could say, like, what if it goes under? But it's been up for 20-something years already, so. I mean, they upgraded, like, the client a few times. It's definitely more modern and stuff. But at the same time, no, it uses, like, its own client and stuff, yeah. And it's not Magic the Gathering Arena. It's Magic the Gathering Online. That's the difference. People confuse the two a lot. Arena gives you predisposed packs and stuff like that. Magic the Gathering Online is literally Magic, just online. It's pretty good. I would say it's decent. I gotta show you one day. If like I bring my laptop over or something, I'll show you outside. I'll show you how. It is interesting. You'll see. You'll play a few games. You'll be like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. It's easy. You know what it is? It's very easy to work with. It's kind of like, the ease of getting games. Like, I could literally, for 1 hour, I could play like 8 people in 1 hour. Like, especially if I'm using like an aggro deck or a goblin deck or something fast that can kill them in 5 turns. Like, I literally will have 8 to 10 games in an hour. Like, where are you finding 8 to 10 games in real life in an hour? That's like the benefit to it. It's like you're just getting quick games one after. It's like chess, right? If you play chess online, you're gonna get games all the time. If you go to Starbucks and play chess or whatever, good luck, Like that, I used to bring the chessboard to Starbucks, and once in a while, somebody would sit down. I would set it up and everything, and somebody would sit down. I did this for almost a year now, and they would play, and that's how I got them a lot better in chess because I was playing all the time. But at the same time, I'd be lucky I get 2 people a day. And I'd have that chessboard out on the table for like hours, dude. I'd be out drinking coffee, doorknobs coming into place, and that chessboard was literally just on the table, like rolled out, like the silicone chessboards, for hours, dude. And then finally somebody would be like, oh, you mind if we play a game? And I'd be like, all right, got a game, gotta go. I did that for a long time. I used to go out more, dude, because I was trying to get away from the computer and stuff. That's when I kind of like stopped playing. That's why I never got into like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, because all those games were coming out at that time, and I was kind of going to Starbucks a lot and shit. And then when Skyrim came out, that was like the exception. I mean, Skyrim was like really interesting to me. But it's different though, dude. The hangout in Starbucks, they removed a lot of tables and stuff. It's not the same anymore. Like, they don't want you like staying there like that. They consider it like loitering and shit. Like, they don't want you staying in places. So that's like the fucking problem. Is like you don't feel welcome anymore. Like, you can, but they make it in a way. Here's the thing: they removed all the tables. Okay, now you just have booths near the window, and there's only one. There's a big table. If you go upstairs, there is like a big table, but it's not that big. It's still pretty small. Like they just kind of made it they made it in a way where, like, you can, hang out here, drink your coffee for, like, a half hour and get the fuck out. Like, they don't want you to stay there for, like, 7 hours, you know? Because that's what people were doing. People were staying there, like, the whole fucking day. They kind of, like, made it, like, not... What's the term? Like, they changed it up so they make it harder for you to do that now. You know? Huh? Yeah, like, it's kind of fucked up because I used to love it at one point. Dude, they had couches. They took the couches away. They had a fireplace with 3 couches around. They took all the couches away. It's like, why do they, like, man, I really, especially now with the app where people come in and out, they're making the place like a drive-thru place more than anything. And it's like, kind of like, wow, they fucked up the hangout. That's why I don't even go there no more, because I'm like, it's not the same. It's not the same. You know? I mean, you can go, again, upstairs, they got a few couches upstairs. But, you know why it sucks upstairs? Okay, let's just say you want to get a drink. If you're not with somebody, who's watching your stuff? You got a laptop, you got your stuff, right? There's outlets everywhere. There's a door from, there's a door from, literally, from upstairs leading to the outside, right? So somebody could literally grab your laptop, run outside, and go down the outside stairs. So then, if you don't have a friend with you to watch your stuff, so somebody can get the drinks and stuff, what do you fucking do? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, thank God, like, if I go there with Tall David or something, it's like, at least I have somebody to watch my shit. But it's like, otherwise, like, you're literally, like you said, you gotta pack all your shit up, go downstairs, order your drinks, unpack up. It's just, again, not hospitable. They do it in a way that they don't want you staying there. That's what I feel. You know? Right. And then people get free refills, right? If you have the gold card, you can get free refills. Doesn't cost any money, just, right? So, like, people getting free refills, and they wound up staying in the fucking place having, like, 10 cups of coffee all day, free. Basically, you get a Starbucks card, and after, like, 5 or 6 purchases, they'll send you, like, a gold card. And I had the gold card, and they might have gotten rid of it, dude. They might have gotten rid of that program, because everybody was getting free refills. Everybody. And you know what they would do, dude? They would bring cups from their car from the day before and pretend like they were there. You know? Dude. This lady Marie, her cup had lipstick stains. It was the middle of the summertime. She's bringing in a fucking winter cup with snowflakes on it, dude. She had like lipstick all over the fucking, the cup looked ancient, for God's sakes. And I'm like saying to myself, like, is this lady for real? And and somehow, like, a lot of the workers would just get, I think a couple of people said, Marie, you can't use this cup no more. But, like, yeah, they were giving her, dude, yeah. Like, robbing free coffee every day, you know? Huh? Nah, it's kind of, it's kind of grimy. It's a grimy thing to do. Dude, fucking, she had lipstick stains all over the fucking, the top of the, like, you could tell the cup looked like it was, like, 5 years old, dude. But at the same time, you know what's so funny? No, because they don't pour coffee in that cup. What they do is they give you a new cup. Like, you would think she would just keep the new cup at that point. But, like, she would just throw it out and always keep the old cup, you see? So it was like almost like funny in a way. It was like comical that they're bringing in these old cups. Like, dude, 98-degree weather and somebody's coming in with a fucking cup that has like Santa Claus and snowflakes on it. You know, in the middle of summertime, and they're bringing a Christmas cup in. Like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. But that's what they were doing. I saw it. I thought it was funny. Yeah, like ice, like snowflakes and shit. I mean, it was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of got a kick out of it because these people were like, they weren't young, you know, dude. They were like old and shit. These people. So it definitely was kind of funny. Yeah, they were like in their 70s, some of these people 60s and shit. But I mean, like, you would think, and some of them had money, dude. Like, they had money for their age, and just like it's just kind of weird. Like you would think somebody with money, like they wouldn't mind spending a couple of bucks on a cup of coffee. Nah, dude. Some of these people with money are like the cheapest people you'll ever meet. Yeah. Yeah, they were very cheap, man. I mean, I'll be honest, like, I had fun there. I had fun. It was fun in a sense because I was, like, leaving the house, but I would bring my Switch sometimes. You know, when I first got my Switch, I would bring it there. But I also brought my, a lot of times I was bringing my PS Vita and my PSP and stuff. That was before the Switch came out. So I was bringing stuff like that. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm talking about, like, yeah, dude, I was going there for, like, 4 or 5 years. I even brought Daddy there a few times. Yeah, and I left. Because you know why? Because I had to actually take a shit, and he kept calling up on the phone. Oh, you know, blah blah blah. Like, and then it was like to the point where like I got mad and I just left because I was like, dude, you're making me wait. Like, you're making us wait for like an hour and 30 minutes, and I had to use the bathroom, and I couldn't get a spot. Like he didn't. He thought it was like a place where you can just easily get, like you can easily just get a table and shit. Like, no, dude. No, dude. One thing, dude. Yeah.